Nice. It'll be a super short live. Just a little update to this piece. Man, we did some damage here. Okay. Well, I guess we were continuing this one. Got his arm ripped off from her pulling it with these chains she's able to conjure up, materialize. Really gruesome. And just kind of lock it in. Just distinguish the outline. Been a while. What up, Sir Brewski? Yeah, it has. Thanks, brother. I was here yesterday, but it was just a short live in the morning. I'll do like super quick updates to this. Every morning I try to. Past 2 days, 3 days since we started this one. Hey, how you doing, Do Kim? Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you, dude. This is from my series Demonation. It's a story about these cloud agents who are in black, like men in black, right? Who keep humanity asleep to the truly magical world they live in. It's like Men in Black meets fairy tales. Think of it like that. So there's a lot in this one. There's a lot going on in this piece, but a lot of the picture has already been, the underdrawing has been ghosted with the kneaded eraser, and so we're kind of lifting up the next layer of pencils, trying to really start to lock in the form and figure out how the structure, works and everything. So. Okay, so you're doing the line art right now. Yeah, I did exploration. So like a bunch of scribbly sketches, trying to find the look. And then now I settled on something and I'm building on top of that. Super raw underdrawing. You can see a little bit over here across the page, just the concepts. But basically there's this concert in this arc where, you know, the show must go on no matter what interrupts that concert, and a lot of chaos stuff. You got like fairy tale terrorists involved in this arc. It's called the Helena Siren arc. You got, you know, other forces, entities involved in this arc, and yeah, There's a lot of cool stuff in this one. This one actually, this entire snapshot is going to be framed by these curtains, and you're going to have these two entities that are like almost like as if they're peeking at the picture with us, like as if they're breaking the fourth wall. Um, these beings called soul merchants, they're gonna be right here, and they're like lifting the curtain and just kind of peeking out this chaos that's unfolding over here, and this like black sun, this eclipse, a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. It's still super raw, like I said, but we gonna get there. We gonna get there. Right now, we're just doing a brief update today for this piece. I'll see if I can, if I finish my work, I can try to do a little more of an update on this. This is not the priority work. Priority work is pages. So I try to get this done on lives with you guys so you can see the process. Okay, guys, what are we looking at? 9:17. Okay, I think we have about another 12 minutes. 9:30. Let's see, another 12 minutes here. Thank you, Sir Brewski. Thank you, Knightley. I'm gonna color it. Yeah. Let me show you a previous piece we did. Or I did. I keep saying we, but it's just me. Me and God. Okay. So this is the second arc double spread snapshot splash art that I had. A lot going on. You got the main characters right here, right? And then you got this threat over here, this other big threat over here. This is like a goofy arc. It's called the Big D arc. This guy calls himself Big D. He wants to be a rapper. He's actually a spoiled demon mafia prince, basically. He's the youngest. He wants to prove himself to his brothers. All sorts of stuff like that. He's got a bit of an inferiority complex. But he doesn't, you know, like if his henchmen don't like his music, or if anybody doesn't like his music, he just like pulls out a gun and shoots them. So he doesn't like it when he can't take rejection. Let's just put it that way. And then you got his royal guard Drago over here, who is the real threat, low key, in the in this arc on Imp Island. You got all these rebel imps, Papa Imp, his impet wives, some shaman imps right here. There's a lot going on in this little arc, but then the next arc is this one. After that. Thanks, Do Kim. Yeah, this is I'm aiming for weekly Shonen Jump, so yeah, it's gonna, God willing, be there soon, and you get to enjoy it on a weekly basis. Okay, let's try to get a little bit more done. Time we got, let's see, 10 more minutes. Okay. Yeah, we'll mess with that. We'll clean it up later. See if we can get some work on soccer over here. Yeah, so there's a whole power system in the story. Everybody has a soul, and depending on the type of soul they have, it determines either if they're going to be a creator, destroyer, or preserver, fighting type kind of person, right? And they have different moves, and they counterbalance each other. And every soul, if they really hard, they can actually manifest a calling, and it'll start to appear in their life when they start to push their limits. Some people are born with it, but it all has to do with this these special techniques depending on whether you're a creator, destroyer, or preserver, what your soul's dominant in. And depending on the ratio between these three auras in your soul, determine a lot of things in the story. Um, this is called this percentage between these three types, and depending on that 20% determines what level and what type of different techniques you can use, and how you could combine that with your unique calling ability. And then there's technologies, etc., etc. Everything's built off of though that concept of creation, destruction, preservation. Thanks, Caleb. Okay, let's see. There's also an instinctual aspect to this. So like there's different fairy tale races. So for example, like goblins, they have an instinct of fortune, which means they have, for some reason, they have a lot of good luck when it comes to fortune related things. Maybe that could be general even. For demons, they have an instinct of acceleration where they could, accelerate their muscle growth. For fairies, they have an instinct to transform or to shrink essentially into very, very tiny, like almost like the Minish, like a Minish Cap. I don't know if you ever played that game, Minish Cap, where they shrink super tiny, from Legend of Zelda. Let's see what else. Genies, right? In the story, there's a whole civilization of genies, and they have the power to materialize. But all these instinctual abilities, they're also moves, and they're moves from that those different techniques, depending on that Trinity percent I was telling you about. Those moves can also be accessed in that way. But so races in the story, they get an instinct that sort of is like a practiced move of this that just got passed on, right? Or it's a little more complicated than that, but that's like the simple way to put it, is that even the instincts ultimately have a connection to these different techniques. It's called the Ghost Trinity Art System. Yeah. All right, man. We're gonna cut through half our time. We got 7 minutes left. Okay, let's see. Well, where we at? Go right here. Where's my eraser? Oh my lord, I don't have my eraser. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna just try to block in the characters. Doesn't mean it's gonna be the final thing, but I could already tell like this is not looking right to me. So I have no eraser, so we're just gonna block in the form, try to see where the energy is. Okay. So how do I learn how to draw? I'm at the point where I can barely draw stick figures. You want some tips about how to draw? Okay, the best thing you can do, man, is draw from life as much as you can. Draw from the different shows you're watching, the cartoons. Draw and really pay attention to the shapes. Study figure drawing if you can in person. The live models, so you can really learn how the muscle sits on the bone and the frame and so forth. And I recommend Michael Hampton Figure Drawing Sketchbook. I also recommend book. It's a really good book. It'll help you kind of learn how to play and stretch the different facial structures and the different types of faces you see in movies and theater and caricatures. I used to do caricature. I wasn't really good at it, but I technically did it professionally, and I did it for like 6 months. I learned a lot in that 6 months. It was an awesome experience. But from that, I was able to like kind of start to play with different faces and play with different designs. And so you ultimately have a bank of images that you've practiced, whether from life, whether from a photo. It's better from life, I will tell you that, because you can look at much more detail, and you can really get a instinctual sense of how everything sits on the structure. So you'll start to build up that bank of images, of faces, of whatever, and from that you will be able to start to tap into it using a mixture of memory and imagination, and you'll continue to expand and expand and expand. So you just got to draw every day, draw everything around you, draw everything in your room. If you're at that very beginning stages, draw everything you can. Draw boxing matches when they're about to punch. Draw the motion. Try to get a sense of the energy, and you'll be fine. And really pay attention to shape language. Look at Hellboy by Mike Magnolia. Look at the way he uses the shadow shapes, and he breaks everything down, and there's a lot to it. Damn, bro. Okay, so we got this, and we got him pulling the scythe over here. Okay. I recommend traditional first, then go to digital, and then come back to traditional. Okay, so I need you to make sure that you use the right pressure. So if you want to shade, you go hard to light. To use steady anatomy, it can help if you want to draw realistic posture and poses. Yeah. I would say right now, if you're studying and you're in the beginning stages, try not to give people advice, because it's better for you to go and gain that knowledge and focus on gaining. If you're giving people advice and you're still studying, you're saying that you barely draw stick figures, you shouldn't give people advice about anatomy and things like that, right? Obviously. And you can do it. You can do it. Like I said, you can break everything down to a simple shortcut shape. That's why shape language is really important. Try to get a sense of the actual thing, so draw from life, but also try to learn, like, okay, well, what's the simplest way to break that, the head down or the facial structure down? What are the shapes that make up for it? And I highly recommend you check out Michael Hampton's figure drawing book to get a lot of those shortcuts. We are freaking out of time, guys. It's a hell. Okay, let me see if I can try to add something a little more to this. Okay, we got Helena Siren over here. Let's just try to block in her silhouette, make it make sense. Okay, we got her face right here. All right. She be yelling. Oh, she mad. We're just gonna block it in. Make sure that the form that we're locking in this zone that we're gonna go in later and really lock in and detail and all that. One thing is important is that you'll learn as you go that detail is actually the last step. It's like the cherry on top of the ice cream sundae. Most of what you're going to be showing people when it comes to your art, it's not all the detail. It's actually the structure. And so if you're doing something super simple, but it's really textured, that would be a case where you have more detail than structure, right? But most times you got to just really know structure. And structure is the geometric shapes, the dimensionality, right? The planes, knowing how the plane of the character's like face or whatever your drawings, what the surface, what the flat area is. All that is 60% 70% of your drawing. Detailing is maybe the last 20%, right? And then maybe you got 10% for like, I don't know, hatching or whatever else you want to do. But detailing is super, 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 super small. It's the cherry on top. Anyways, we're gonna end right here. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was just a brief update to this double spread piece, and I'm gonna go work on my priority work, which is working on them pages.